Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I'm making another one of the Immortalz gang, and I was going to use this DMA agent hero click. I'm not sure if that's Mortal or DC. I'm still not sure. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to start by taking a portion of her that I can use for her human part. I accidentally lopped off part of her boob. That's okay, we're going to need it anyways. So what I want to do is I want to make one. Oh, this is like really crooked. Much better. I want to make like a tank kind of situation. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my little beads. Where are they at? Little beads. Where you at? There we go, something like that. So I want to get some of these littler beads. Will those fit inside of those? No. That would be cool though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that. What do I think I want to try to do? Stick these together. Oops. Like that. Okay. I watched a movie a little bit ago called Circus Du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant. I had sort of watched it once before, like not paying attention to it really. And I started out that way this time, and then I like watched it. I always thought it was kind of geared for like younger people and stuff, but even as an old man, I thought it was entertaining actually. Get a nice curve to those. Okay. Then, let's get that on there. Like that. And that's how we'll make our tank tread. Whoops. There's one. Whoops. And 2. Nice little tank treads. I wasn't sure how big those were going to be, but it looks like that's going to work out that we can probably do this on a size medium base, I'm thinking. I wasn't quite sure. So let's get, well, let's rough that up so that glue sticks to it really well. Yeah. Need a piece of something sharp. Where's my poker thing I always use? Oh, poker thing. Where's my poker thing? Can't find mine. Can't find mine. No, I can't find my poker thing. Got it. Okay. We need to get those tracks on there. Oops. And I don't know if these are going to work. That might work, actually. Yeah, that'll be good for the center of the body. We'll just get one of those. Shove that on there. Just like that. We'll shove that on there. And that'll be the bottom of it. Now, I had a shovel thing over here somewhere that I thought would be useful, but now that I'm looking at this, I'm not really sure. So I have my tank treads kind of together. So let's see what we can do to get that torso mounted on the tank treads and not look junky. Last time I did a torso like that, I used something like this and it worked out pretty good. So maybe that might be the way to go again. I don't know how I can do that without making a big mess, though, or hurting anything. Ta-da. Let's get some glue mounted on that, just like that. And we'll let that cool. We'll snip around the outside here. There's a fly running around on my light above me. I can see his reflection when I look up at the screen to see if I'm staying in frame. He is irking the shit out of me. Okay. Get a little dab of glue on that. Sweet. Something like that. I'm going to twist that around. Kind of get better contact and see if I like the way everything's going. Then I want her to sit in there pretty flush, but I don't want her head to be down in it buried that much. I want her to kind of sit up. So to make her kind of sit up, I'm just going to get some pieces of cardstock and cardboard. I'm going to make a little platform in there to add some depth or some height, whatever, to add something. Okay. I just want to add some height there. Okay. Sweet. All right. I want to center her up a little bit, something like that. Now I want a gun on the front of that, so something like this could be really good for that. I have other pieces left over from miscellaneous stuff though, so let's make sure that there's nothing I can use that's going to be cool. I'm going to put that right on the back. Just get a little dibby dab of glue. Shove that on there, and that's just going to add some more detail that shows up in the paint job. and makes this look like we put some work into it. And I'm going to take this and make a gun out of this. So she looks kind of like a tank, maybe. I think that gun's a little bit bigger than what I want, though. So I'm going to snip that off. About right there. Sweet. And she's going to look like a little tank. I want her to have some arms. So to do the arms, I'm just going to get some sprue. This will be good right here. And I'm going to cut those off so they're kind of even. Something like that. Kind of put those on as the arms. Cool down and hold it. Something like that. Okay, same thing on this side. Maybe dab of glue. Get that up underneath the edge. And let that kind of hold in place and cool. Okay. Now, I want some kind of snippers on the end there on one of these, so I'm just going to do something a little fancy. I'm going to cut a half moon, just like that. Okay, I'm going to let that cool for a moment. I'm going to snip the back of that off flat. Get a dibby dab of glue. Something like that for one hand. And then for the other hand, I don't know what I want to do. I kind of make a little grabber. So I think what I'm going to do is get a piece of whatever this stuff is. Okay. I'm going to rub that around. Get a good bond. Something like that. Okay. Let's deal with spider webs. Get rid of those because we don't want them. Let's mount her on a base here so we can get her back off again. Something like that. Sweet. All right, let's get a little super glue. Okay. We'll get a little bit inside there too. Now I do want to sturdy this up just a tiny bit up on those shoulders especially. So what I'm going to do, let's just kind of go around those shoulders. Okay, sweet. We can put a little bit of detail on this with some of these gem bead things. They're not real gem beads, but I call them gem beads. They're, I don't know what they're called. They're like from, they're from gem bead paintings of some sort. Gem paintings or diamond paintings, or there's a name for it. And I always tell myself I'm going to go look when I can't remember, and I never do. So I'm just going to get a couple of those. Here we go. Just to get a little bit of detail. Pimp up some of this. I don't even know where I'm going to stick those. Maybe one there. I don't know. Something like that. Not a whole lot of room on there for more, I guess. Which is either good or bad, I don't know. That is actually pretty true with most things. They're either good or bad. All right, let's take a look at it. Something like that. Now I'm going to hit this with an air gun. Then we're going to spray paint this. And yes, I finally made it to the store and got stuff that I needed. I know, it seems unbelievable. Glue sticks and all. Almost like grown-ups here. Now, the Immortalz, we've talked about this before if you've watched, but if you haven't been watching, the Immortalz are essentially wealthy people in the future who have opted to avoid being resurrected over and over again by finding machinery to keep themselves alive. I'm just grabbing cardboard. All right, I think she should be pretty sturdy. Everything looks pretty sturdy. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of white. I need to get more white. There's a lot of color. I need to make a list. There's a lot of colors I'm running low on. Just getting a soft makeup brush from the Dollar Tree. Spreading that around. Get a lot of that off. Maybe something like that. It's a good start. All right, let's get some metallic brown. And a medium-sized brush to work with. This is synthetic. I'm going to hit the base especially with this. Then I'm going to hit some of the parts of this model with it, especially around some of the bigger, flatter areas. And I'm not doing a perfect paint job, but I am doing a paint job to where it's going to be on there some, so I don't have to worry about a bunch of the color showing through, or the, you know, seeing a bunch of white. Okay. A little bit of white won't kill us, but we don't want too much. Hit your tank wheels, your run flats, but don't hit your track, because you're just going to be painting over that anyways. Okay. Now I'm going to get a brownish red. I'm going to dip it in water. I'm going to try to aim for spots that are all white still. Just to make sure everything's colored. Get some more of that and kind of hit up this claw. Okay. Get underneath that arm. I'm going to get a little bit of gray and mix it in with whatever I got left in my brush. I'm going to dab that up on some of the flat areas. And I'm going to use that to mix some of this up where I don't like the way it looks. So I'm not going to go overboard with that. I'm just going to get some of that. Like that. Now to do the treads, I'm going to get my favorite color in the whole world, pavement. And I'm just going to take my time and try not to make a mess with it. Something like that. Let me get some black paint, go around the outside. Then we'll start talking about how to handle her. Now we're not sure what got her into this conflict, that she wants to be, instead of being like a wealthy person up in the city, she wants to join a street gang that's focused on immortality. I couldn't tell you what her intent is or why she's doing that. All I know is that she, like the rest of the members of the Immortals, crave power and crave the ability to have control over everything themselves, as opposed to letting others have that control. And that's the reason these Immortals exist, is they don't want other people to tell them when they come back to life and when they die and stuff like that. So they keep themselves indefinitely alive like this. Oh, I'm having trouble grabbing my thingy bob. There we go. Let's do speed paints on this last part to liven it up a tad. So let's do her skin first. I'm using this warrior skin. It's a darker tone. It's kind of it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's versatile. You can use this to represent many different skin tones. By how good of a coat you have, by how light underneath is, by how much of this you use. You can really just change the look of the skin tone drastically. So I want something that looks like she could be just about any color or any ethnicity or any culture. That's just what I wanted for her. I'm going to get this bright red, and I'm going to do her clothing in the bright red. Something like that. I'm going to come back and do some work on the body with some color. So I'm going to use this dark blue and do some work on the body. And what I want to do is I want to not use this brush. I want to get something a little more and not as good a shape. I want to get my blue. And I want to kind of stay away from the edges, and I don't want to do an even pure coat for sure. I just want to paint this so that it looks like it was once kind of blue and maintained and isn't anymore. Now I'm not going to put a whole lot of effort into making the arms look like I did a great job on them, because that's not going to help sell the model as to what it is. But I am going to smear that around and get some fair coverage. Okay. I'm going to use that same brush and I'm going to get a little bit of silver. I just need the tiniest bit of silver. I'm going to do some work around the edge of the gun with that, on these claws. Okay, something like that. Then I'm going to get that light gray that I used earlier. I'm just going to make some simulated tank treads. I'm not going to spend a whole amount of time doing that perfectly. I did dab that blue. That's okay. Last but not least, let's do her hair. We want to do that in something obnoxious. Let's see, I think I used pink on the last one, so we'll use neon green on this one's hair. This is called Plasmatic Bolt. I think it'll do the job. You generally want to have a brush that has a finer tip and more control for this, but I'm in a hurry and I'm feeling brave. So I'm just going to grab her hair. I'm going to carefully get this brush and give her some Plasmatic bolt hair. Okay. I'm going to use that same brush because I'm feeling brave. I'm going to get a little black paint and do her glasses. And I'm not focusing on the rims. I just want to hit the lenses. Sweet. Now I want to get a little bit more of that black. And there's some, like, on the original miniature, I think they were like, she was wearing a holster and they were like the straps for it. And I'm just going to drag my black paint along those lines real lightly and make it look like she's strapped down in here. Just her torso, you know. Something like that. And then let's color the opening of that gun a little bit. Just try to keep it on the front and not get it on the sides. Let me get a little more of that gray. I'm going to redo my treads a little better now that I can see those a little easier. I'm not putting a lot of effort into those to make them perfect though, just like before. All right, let's dry her off and take a look. Let's take a gander. One last step, a little bit of black metallic. If you don't have any, you can make some. Then I'm going to get a little bit of white, or not white, I'm sorry, water. And I'm going to hit these treads with that dirty mix. Just like that. I want to hit the base up. 2. I'm going to nail those road wheels a little bit. And when that dries, I think it'll look cool. I'm going to get a little bit of muck up in here under the arm, around whatever this pack is. The back of that pack some. Running down their back. There we go. Oil seeping out of the joints here. This has had to been lubricated lately, so it's looking kind of rough too. Okay. And I'm just using the rest of this up because I have it. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for watching so much. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment. Check out the Discord and the website. Those are linked in the description. There's also a 25% discount code down there that you might enjoy too. That'll save you 25% off your first month of Dungeons & Swag Minis. And if we understand if you can't afford to get them, we've all been there. But I'd love it if you had the opportunity to check out our minis. They're really great. Hey, I'll see you next time.